Yo, One Piece 1000 was awesome. Great chapter. Huge monument for the series. All of that jazz. But One Piece 1001 hit a bit different. I'm not even gonna lie. Just keeping it all the way real. Like I said, One Piece 1000, it was a dope chapter. 1001 just felt better. Like 1001 honestly could have been the big 1000 in my opinion. Like it just really felt that way between the battle, between seeing like I like to dub them at this point of the worst generation at the very least, like the big three, Luffy, Kid, and Law versus Kaido. Like just a ton of this chapter felt huge, great. It embodied the soul and spirit of One Piece, of having a bit of that comedy, hilarious stuff, playing chicken. That was amazing. Like just in general, this chapter felt like, wow, this could have been 1000. This definitely should have been 1000. Maybe, who knows? It was just like a last minute spare thing, because while Luffy charging in and punching Kaido was insane, this chapter had that and then some. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about with this One Piece greatness, because this chapter was insane. Yo, let's talk. Make your move. That's how it be though. So chapter opens up with Kaido mocking, because it seems as though Kaido really loves to mock Luffy about his dreams. Like to him, I guess, you think about it, he's really old at this point, right? Like, yo, he looks kind of like young. He looks like maybe, I don't know, what would Kaido look like? He's like in his 40s, I guess, right? But in reality, he's really freaking old. He's been around since the days of the Rocks pirates and shit. So when he's hearing Luffy talk all this, King of the Pirates, I'm gonna whip your butt and stuff, like, it's a joke. It's like, haha, this little whippersnapper really got some cojones, so to speak. So he's there, the beginning of the chapter alone, he's like, oh, he's still going on about that King of the Pirates stuff, huh? Like, although he cannot deny, he cannot cap that hit actually did some damage, and I like that. Like, you gotta imagine it's really conflicting for Kaido, because on one hand, this is the same guy that he's kind of basically suicidal, jumping from the heavens, trying to kill himself and shit, and now he's getting hit by Luffy that is actually doing some damage. On top of that, the scabbards did a bit of damage to him earlier, so I'm imagining it's like a weird sensation for him, right? He gotta be like, on one hand, like, oh yes, maybe my death might finally come, and then on the other hand, like, ooh, these little motherfuckers think they're doing this shit to me. I'm Kaido, damn it. But one can't help but wonder, including Zoro, Law, and Kid, like, yo, how Luffy did that? Like, he actually did some damage. What type of hockey was that? And I think Zoro was on the mark, obviously, about, you know, him training with Hyogoro with the hockey and whatnot, because remember, that hockey in particular, it damages them from the inside out. When we seen the training done in the Udon prison and whatnot, that's what that hockey was capable of doing. So that's how you get past the rugged exterior of somebody like Kaido. Like, no, you hit him and make it impact from the inside out, because his insides, obviously, you know, like he has a steel gut on the inside. And it's funny because while Big Mom is there, don't get me wrong, she's a ferocious character. Like, nobody's really playing with Kaido, but they're kind of playing around with Big Mom. I feel as though throughout the chapter, last couple chapters, honestly, like, Big Mom, she's there and she is very scary. But like, for example, which we'll get to in a bit, like the whole chicken thing is about something that Big Mom is doing to them. So when she's like, oh, do you know what it means to be the king of the pirates and shit, I'm just there like, we'll find out, Big Mom. We'll find out. Like, I don't know, her ferocity, it's in combination with Kaido, definitely something to fear, but they're also using her because maybe too, at the same time, we faced her already in Whole Cake Island. Obviously we had to run for our lives and shit, but since we already went through her, it's not as scary as just the first time we're really going up against Kaido. But going back to Kaido, Kaido says like, yo, how far will Luffy's ceiling go? Because he remembers when he first encountered him just earlier in this arc, when he hit him, he went flying and it seemingly was a wrap for him. He was like, yo, one shot, you out of here and shit. So to see that he's able to damage him now, he's imagining that this dude's potential is outrageous, and he starts thinking back to people that was able to damage him in the past. I'm like, damn, like, yo, if you think about it, because he's referencing back to like Roger, the king of the freaking pirates, Whitebeard, Rocks, and Odin. Those were the people that were able to put paws on him and actually do damage. So if he's putting Luffy in the same tier as these people, or at the very least with the potential of these people, yeah, I mean, it's to be expected at the end of the day. Like, what, you think Luffy's gonna be weak by the end of the series? Hells no. And it even further demonstrates that Luffy has evolved, because while he got hit by the Thunder Baguya from Kaido and whatnot, it wasn't head on. Even Kaido has to admit, like, oh shit, good job, you didn't get hit head on like last time. So basically, Kaido is very much impressed, and throughout this chapter, you'll notice that he is really excited about this whole thing. It's like, yo, new blood. He's looking the same way he looked when he went up against against Odin back then, and he was looking at Odin like, yo, this guy actually might have what it takes to take me down. And I love how Big Mom tries to, again, jump in, and she's like readying an attack with Prometheus and all this shit. And Zoro's like, oh, no, we're not doing that right now, and just jumps immediately. And I'm like, yeah, we ain't scared of you no more, okay? We're in a different age, goddammit. And he jumps in using Foxfire style, and Luffy's like, yo, isn't that Kinemon's? And he's like, yeah, I stole it. It's mine now. And it's also very important to note, because while we're looking at Luffy's feats, we also gotta look at Zoro's. Like, yo, he slashed through Prometheus with his attack. Like, that's a big deal. Big Mom is, again, we're joking around and shit like that. She is a scary and very, very strong person. She's a freaking Yonko. Let's not get that twisted. So, Zoro being able to do that using a stolen technique from Kinemon, Foxfire style, big deal. And then Kaido going for a second blow. Like, I love how everybody is having their moment right now. It's good that we kind of removed a bit, like, the Straw Hats are on a different level or whatever. We still have very, very awesome and beloved characters here, but, like, it's giving everybody really, really good moments, and it doesn't feel forced. It feels like this is a real battle, because then when Kaido's going for that second blow, Law uses Shambles to transport Luffy and shit, and I'm like, real battle. And then here's where it gets real silly, because I'm like, okay, this is where it starts to feel very that humor of One Piece, where Law is like, yo, Luffy, let's get this straight. When you told me about bringing the samurai to the lower floor and shit like that, I was doing that anyway. You don't order me, fam. Which, it takes me back, because for the longest time, I thought, like, Law could potentially become a Straw Hat. Like, you know, we all thought, like, maybe Law will become a Straw Hat. But when you get instances like this, it reminds you, like, no, he's a proud captain of his own people. Like, he's a part of the worst generation on his own right. It's not that he's been there like, oh my god, I need to be a Straw Hat and shit. So when you get that, kind of clarifies that more than likely Law will never become a Straw Hat unless all of his crew was murdered and he does it begrudgingly. Like, yeah, I don't think that'll happen at this point. When you get that, this was kind of clarifying. Law doesn't want to be a Straw Hat, won't follow Luffy like that. He's not like the others. But then you got Kid there, which, I ain't gonna lie, Kid did take an L in this one. It wasn't very apparent or whatnot. Like, you had to, if you've seen it, you've seen it. If you know, you know. Because then Kid starts teasing Law, like, oh, you know, if you're gonna follow Luffy, that's cool. Like, yeah, you know, I don't care who follows who over there. And Law is screaming and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, so Kid is really showcasing, like, I'm a leader. I don't do that shit, whatnot. So, cool stuff there, right? But then Luffy comes up with this idea, I bet, yo, let's play chicken, when Big Mom is about to blast him with Prometheus, and he's like, whoever moves first, I guess, you know, is the loser, right? And you can see Zoro's reaction. It's kind of like my reaction, like, yo, is this really the time and place for this shit right now? But when you get that panel, first of all, I love that. Ever since Oda started using that facial expression, the bent back face, he can't stop. Because this time when he used it, which, again, Kid taking the L. Because you see, Kid seemingly moved first, then Luffy, then Law. So Law takes the W, and Kid takes a massive L. And like, why? Kid looks so badass, his design is badass, his powers is badass, he got a badass attitude. Why does Kid gotta take the L, Oda? Why must he do this to him? He's been beaten down, captured and ensnared in Udon prison, tied upside down. Like, Oda, do you hate Kid or something? Don't get me wrong, hilarious scene, loved every minute of it, but come on. And then after that, it gets even more serious, because Kaido tells Big Mom, yo, bitch, big girl, get back. I want to see what they can do. And you can see Big Mom's like, yo, you still a kid, fam. Really? Like, is this really the time right now? We're supposed to squash them like bugs. And if they were to work together and squash them like bugs, I don't think it'd be much of a battle. Kaido is allowing them to get to a point where they might take him down. But then again, Kaido's the one that's suicidal. Big Mom ain't. Big Mom want to eat. He want to die. Two different objectives. But like I was saying earlier, it got more serious once Zoro put on the bandana. When he put on the bandana, I ain't gonna lie, I almost lost it. I was like, yes. And he tells Killer, yo, don't get in my way. And we get a reminder of what happened between him and Killer when Killer was running around as just, Kamazo the Killer or something like that, before he actually put his mask back on when he lost his sanity for a bit. And then they use a combo attack, essentially, of Zoro using Onigiri and Killer using Beheading Claw, and they actually were able to damage Kaido. This looks like it's really the beginning of the end for Kaido. Like, how many times in this arc at this point we've seen, oh my god, we can't believe it, Kaido has actually been damaged, between going back to the scabbards, then it was just this chapter right now that we figured out Luffy was able to, with his haki, damage him, and then now Zoro and Killer combined, they slashed his neck. Like, this is the beginning of the end for Kaido, and however they're doing it, they're able to take him down. But something that I caught, and I've seen a little controversy about it, regarding Zoro, a line that he has after the fact where he says, man, I gotta release a little more Enma. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, so Enma is an actual power-up. That could very well be the case. Or it could also be the amount of haki he was putting into the Enma sword. So that was something that was a little bit unclear there. But either way, it just showcases that there's more for Zoro as well. He was kind of like essentially somewhat holding back when he just struck Kaido. Imagine if he would have went full force. It very well could be Zoro's the one that's going to pierce Kaido. I'm just saying, like, really pierce him and finish him off. I don't know. Like, that would be epic and insane, and it'd be a different twist. Again, you want, ideally, yeah, the main protagonist to get the final blow and shit, but how epic would it be if Zoro did it? I don't know. It would be a different type of narrative at the same time, too. It would be a break away from the norm of the narrative of, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're showcasing they're their own men, the worst generation. You got Zoro and Killer on their own. You got Luffy, Law, and Kid, like, all talking about, like, they're their own men. Let Zoro get the win. He's still part of the Straw Hats, and it'd still be epic as hell, so I wouldn't be mad at it. But again, we gotta wait and see. And we get this panel of Punk, Rotten, Gear Forth, and Room. These three monsters. I ain't gonna lie, the art in this chapter, just like I said in the beginning of this chapter, this should have been 1,000 in my opinion. It could have been 1,000. It was just, because you get the gorgeous panel of them charging him and Kaido smiling. We got Gun, Punk Vise, and then Law at the same time dropping him. It's just, like, granted, you could argue, and I understand why there would be the argument there of like, yo, but Kid, when he went up against, it's really all Luffy, like, being honest, like, because Kid, when he went up against Kaido, you know, earlier, way hundreds of chapters ago, obviously he took the L, his people was dismantled and everything, but that was also due to a mole that was working, like, he had a lot of cards stacked against him. Now you got Luffy that figured out that haki technique to damage Kaido, so it works, and it makes sense now, them working together, because Luffy figured out a trick, and at the same time, they're all working in unison. And you notice that their damage was so massive and them launching him so far down into the ground, in particular Law using Room to smash him down, that he goes into his dragon form, so he's reverting back and forth. This is showing, again, Kaido's not struggling, but he's having a little bit of a difficult time, which is all good. And then you get the ending of Kaido and Big Mom are charging these three monstrosities of forces that I love seeing. And they're like, it'll be a shame to kill them, but we're going to take all their treasure. Big Mom's like, yeah, we're going to take their poneglyph. We taking everything. And that final line, which again, it goes back and it's been a throwback since last chapter of Kaido ridiculing Luffy's dreams of wanting to be the Pirate King, which this felt a little less like ridicule and more so like kind of looking at a child that has a dream and you're like, oh, you want this dream? This is what you want to do? When he says whoever wins gets that much closer to the king of the pirates. So that was a nice way to cap off the chapter. Honestly, this chapter was One Piece. It was that One Piece greatness. It really felt through and through like a One Piece chapter of just amazingness. You got action. You got them really going up against the Yonko. Something that has been years, decades in the making, waiting for this moment and seeing it actually playing out. I can't believe it. It kind of feels surreal. Curious what you guys think. I guess the biggest question, how is this fight gonna go? How's it gonna go with Kaido and Big Mom versus Kid, Law, Luffy, Zoro, and Killer? I don't know. I really enjoyed this shit. This was awesome. Like, it's hard for me to put into words right now that this was that One Piece greatness. And your overall thoughts and expectations moving forward. Do you think that they're going to be able to kill Kaido? Do you think Big Mom, who's going to fall first if somebody is going to fall in this battle between them? Like, I want to say maybe somebody, probably unfortunately Kid will be the first to fall, and then maybe they'll take down like either Big Mom or Kaido. Probably Big Mom will go down first on that side, which I hate to, it's not that I'm picking on Big Mom, it's just based on my observations, that's what it looks like it'll be. And then I don't even know how to call it. Maybe Zoro gets the final blow. I could see Killer also falling shortly after Kid. I know I'm picking on like Kid in them, but that's just the way I see it. And your overall thoughts and expectations for One Piece 1002 and beyond. Man, Wano, it looks like we're reaching the climax almost of this arc. Insane. That's all I have for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and this was that One Piece greatness.
It's nights like this, and times like this,
What's that?
that I can give another hit. But I've got this inside a switch, a natural bliss. But that I